If Wei is able to find a couple of windows early on, whether it requires him dropping camps or if it's just him pathing towards the top side of the map, gives Saburo much HP, but Wei and Photic have control of the lane so far. And then you get a decent size crash here on the cannon wave. Deadly flourish right on top of on. Oh no! That's just a raw 2v2 solo kill.
They needed that all in from BLG's perspective. They get priority on the bottom lane wave, and this is first dragon going over IG. Wonderful. Okay, sure.
Everything works out in the end for Invictus Gaming. First dragon secured. Wei already well on his way to picking up a profane Hydra very soon. Bin.
I was promised some action here.
Well,
Rookie hasn't even lost his flash yet. Like,
hang on. Wei was waiting in the wings, but Knight flashes away in time, and the cover of Paranoia gives him the necessary means to retreat and a simultaneous play on top side, killing Saburo.
Coming on through. It's a little late now, though, if you think about it. Invictus Gaming already hitting the dragon. We're stacking early. We are using some of the early priority from either lane matchups or some flipping that's going on, and that's creating it and kind of force the issue. There we go. It gets summoned. They can move it into mid. There's a ton of crystalline overgrowth on this turret, so whoever hits these plates is going to get paid. And now BLG are going to have to be second into the river.
Won't take out the tier 1 turret immediately, but decent damage. And like you said, it gives Invictus Gaming first walk into the river. BLG are going to have to face check into that banana brush. Wei gets briefly spotted. Rookie is over on the right side. Darkness for the rest of BLG. Here comes Sun into the middle of all 5, and Knight is there to follow up on the play. Invictus Gaming did pretty much everything right, but the execution is still going BLG's way. Saburo's trying to wreck house on a Viper, flashes after him, gets the first trade of the kill onto a BLG member. He's going to revive thanks to the passive. Curtain call from Photic trying to follow on up, and Saburo just can't get it done. Picks up a double onto 2, but the rest of BLG can at least... BLG, the fact that he trades 2 kills ensures that IG do not go home empty-handed, and they can at least try and set up for the dragon again as we get it in the picture, but Knight has solo killed Rookie on the top side of the map. Knight has TP. He's going to join the fight now. Perfect execution, not available anymore, but he can still try and lend his power into the fight, and Invictus Gaming are dropping like flies. The Grim Deliverance ends up just being a delayed, inevitably end for Saburo, and the third dragon will finally go the way of BLG.
These last 2 fights have completely ruined IG's game, and BLG now find a 3,000 gold lead. Knight getting a solo kill onto Rookie. He teleports into that play, and then we get a massive bullet time. Now they'll get the dragon. They'll get all 4 of those kills, and potentially 2 turrets in mid and bottom lane here. That is a massive influx of gold going over to Bilibili.
Photic's got to be careful. He does have flash and barrier available, but he's trying to use his pressure as much to try and stop that tier 1 turret from falling. Unfortunately, he cannot
put their game in jeopardy now.
And listen, it is a tall task to try and coordinate a fight when you don't have vision from the Paranoia. And unfortunately, Saburo is going to get a taste of darkness once again.
Still, they're kind of reaching some high highs. I'm not going to say it's that impressive to see them solo killing Rookie and Saburo, especially this early on in the season. And from what we've seen from IG, it doesn't seem like it's that impressive.
Oh no! Well, Dway had to go hunting for some vision and laid down, just ruined Viper and On in the laning phase and made it very difficult for them to try and get ahead and get any someone's support.
Oh, is Akali going for it? Oh, we're doing this!
Oh boy. Well, supreme display of talent did momentarily stun a couple members, but the perfect execution.
Because his Demacia Cup resume, we came in thinking that he might be the big carry for this team, and we have seen none of that so far this season.
There's been only a couple of performances in and there off of the Oh my goodness!
Jesus Christ, man!
Well, so, you know, the early game was a bit quiet for BLG and Knight in particular, but he was just biding his time, and now that he has a effective 3,000 gold advantage and Shadow Flame Hextech Gunblade working towards Azonia's Hourglass, yeah, this guy is running train on anyone that walks into his side lane.
You get one. That's all I'm gonna say. You get one. All right, Rafa. You know what I am gonna say? This game's game. It turns out having point and click slows is not great. Click. So either we make it a skill shot in my mind, which I don't think Riot is going to do, or we have to tap some of the stats on this. Like 80 AP is pretty ridiculous, especially for a 3,000 gold item.
Oh boy. Well, that was a lot of damage on Schwinn, but he's got a GA, so he's totally fine if he just wants to send it in there for the boys.
Oh!
Come on! That's the Alistar gameplay I've been waiting for you from all this second game. Ben is going to route off the escape pass of a couple members. Wave desperately trying to get away from this massive Scion, and Rookie just expended his scatter of the week, so you know that Viper's flashing on him all day, every day. IG only down to 2 members, and BLG know that it's time to rip this Baron.
Yep, let's go take the big purple worm. Let's move it in so we can start to finish out this game. BLG, bit quieter early game, and that's the big misconception I want people to get away from, is there are going to be a lot of games that BLG are going to win this year by just having the best laners in the league, but what I've seen from them in some of these games has been incredible to watch, and we're going to see another mechanical display.
Oh my god. Knight is just pub stomping on IG corpses, continuing to aura farm for the montage, and I'm sure that the LPL official TikTok and Instagram is going to have a hell of a time going back through this series and just farming highlights for Knight's montage plays as Sabor now steps up with Rookie behind him, trying to see if they can damage this guy. But here comes Swin, looks for Photic in the backline, says, I'm sorry, Jim, but you don't have flash and you're not surviving. Rookie does expend the GA from this Nocturne, but he flashes away from the force of will, and Saboro tries to step on up, but a good sidestep from Schwinn, forcing him to use the Grim Deliverance. Clean use of the perfect shuriken backflip into the perfect execution. My goodness, BLG just all here for the style points. A 5-man push. Wei alongside Dway. I don't know if they're going to be enough. On is going to hold them at the door. Supreme display of town on the 2, but Schwinn just blocks it with a spell shield, gets even more attack speed so he can finish this game out faster. And BLG with a clean sweep over IG.
A 30-minute win, 20-3. Remember, we started